to talk about this concept I've been introduced through synchronicity, which is surrendering. And I've been basically through direct experience accepting more and more that whatever is unfolding right now in my reality is perfect as it is. And when it feels like it is not, I feel like then there is resistance within me that I can basically let go of by allowing it. My question, or I'd like to talk about with you, is how does surrendering go with following one's excitement? Because I feel like surrendering is also giving up, uh, the way you said it, the personality game, which also includes my preferences.
It does not require you to give up your personality. It only encourages you to align your personality with your higher mind, to actually allow yourself and your personality to express and experience and move in the direction of the preferences that are representative of your true core frequency, your true core vibration. So we're talking about the kind of surrender that is defined as simply surrendering to the control that's already built into you, that is already representative of your core frequency, and allowing your personality to align with that so that your personality is a true representation of the frequency that you actually are at your core. That is what surrendering means from our perspective. Does that help you?
That helps. And can I ask further on that?
Yes?
Then I wonder, like, the personality, like my mind will have a preference. I feel like I cannot count upon, because it will like something a minute ago and then it will judge the same thing a minute after, where I feel like how how can I align ever if this mind always goes back and forth?
All right. Well, again, it is about, in a sense, quieting the mind to some degree and knowing the difference within yourself in your discernment between the ideas and energies of excitement and anxiety, because that is, for the most part, why humans flip back and forth so quickly, is that they are expressing the idea of a desire, but it is coupled with the idea of a fear. And therefore, that can cause you to flip flop back and forth very rapidly because you are shifting back and forth between the energy of excitement and the energy of anxiety. So it requires honest self-investigation and evaluation as to what belief systems you might still be holding on to that would cause you to examine things with anxiety instead of only allowing yourself to experience them through the idea of excitement. It's all right if you quickly observe neutrally the idea from another point of view, but you don't have to experience it emotionally if you are willing to just observe it neutrally and then choose to move forward within your excitement and your passion, as opposed to giving over to the negative and fear-based belief in your personality that would create and generate an emotional reaction as well. Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense. Then I'd like to elaborate on that through like personal experience, so that I can maybe let go of whatever is holding me back. Because
Yes.
like I've had like the experience where I felt like, and I just want to expose my mind here, and be pure. I felt like the universe has sometimes been like, I felt like I've been bullied by the universe sometimes, because say that I wanted something and the universe would align a lot of stuff where it would be like almost like as if it gives me my favorite pie in front of me and is saying, here is your favorite pie. And when I get my fork, it says like, oh wait, like you cannot taste it. And then, or I get to a party and they say, hey, we confuse you with someone else, you're not like invited to this party actually. But and then now I feel like I'm almost that's where the anxiety kicks in.
All right, but you're doing that to yourself. The universe isn't doing it to you. It's just reflecting what you're doing to yourself. Remember, you are your own reality. You are your own universe. So the idea is that the universe, existence, is unconditionally supportive. So if you're holding on to negative belief systems, the universe will say, all right, we will support you in your holding on to those negative and fear-based beliefs. It can't contradict you. It can only support what you say is true for you. So basically, you are bullying yourself. You are messing with yourself. Stop doing that, and you
Yeah,
will
I
not
believe
get
that.
those reflections.
I believe that. And then it's like, how do I stop that, since I feel like I don't know how I uh
All right?
believe.
I can explain. Remember, this is most important. You do not hold on to anything you don't believe serves you. So you have to investigate yourself deeply by asking yourself with all honesty, what might I be getting out of holding on to a fear based or negative belief? And if you are really honest in your self investigation, you will figure out more often than not that either you have another belief that says to move forward would create something even worse than what's happening now, and therefore it's safer to stay where you are now,
Mhm.
and therefore you're getting safety out of it because you believe you're preventing something worse from happening if you do move forward. That's usually what happens in the motivational mechanism of most people on your planet. So if you find out what you're afraid of, what you're afraid might happen if you did, in fact, move forward and align with your true essential core vibration and become the person you say you prefer to become, then you can allow yourself to be aware of why you might be playing it safe. And therefore, you can see that it is not to your benefit, really, to believe that something worse will happen if you move forward, and that it's actually quite nonsensical to assume that to be true. It's not a fact, it's just a story that the belief is telling you in order that you will not let it go, because that's how beliefs perpetuate themselves, by telling you stories that make you not wish to let them go. So a negative, fear based belief will tell you a story that will force you to think otherwise, to scare you into not letting it go. You have to see through that simply as a technique that the negative belief uses to keep existing. Whereas if you
Yes.
understand it's just a story, then you can let it go and not consider it to be a fact that something worse will happen. It's just a story you're being told. But you also have to be clear within yourself about the idea of the difference between what sometimes your physical mind says it wants and what it truly needs to be fulfilled. Sometimes the wants and the needs can coincide, but more often than not on your planet, sometimes the wants are simply the product of the personality ego, and it's not necessarily aligned with what you truly need to live a fulfilled life. So then, again, in your honest self investigation, you have to be clear about whether or not what you're saying you want is truly what you need in life.
And I guess I'll know that by, if I fear it, it's already not like it's probably personality um based desire. Because if it
It
was a
can
true
be.
desire, it wouldn't give me anxiety.
The anxiety comes from the belief you're holding on to about that thing. Some things can be representative of your passion, can be representative of what you truly need, and you can still be afraid of them. That doesn't negate the idea that it might actually be something you truly need. It's just telling you that you're looking at it through the filter of a fear based belief.
Yes, okay.
So you need to find out what that belief is telling you.
Okay. And can I share like what I'm afraid of?
Yes, of course.
So it comes down to that, insecurities basically. I'm kind of finding it hard to trust that source. Like I'm afraid of source, I guess, because it feels so like huge. And maybe the stories I've been hearing about all that is like life is a gift, and am I being like am I using my resources well enough? Am I good enough? All those questions, and then feeling like, what if I say I'm worthy, but uh,
You can't be unworthy. If you were unworthy, you wouldn't exist.
but what about evil then in stories or in religion where they say like you can get punished if you do this and that and those
There's no
associations.
such thing in spirit. There is no such thing. That's a human idea.
Yes.
You can only punish in physical reality. You cannot be punished in spirit. Spirit is your natural state. It is unconditionally supportive and loving. That's who you are as a true being.
Could
There
you
is
give
no such
me?
thing as punishment in spirit. There
Okay.
is recognition of what may be in or out of alignment with your true self.
Mhm.
That's not a punishment. That's simply a lesson that you can take to heart and say, all right, that's not something I prefer to do anymore. And you can make a change within yourself. But you don't get punished for it. You simply are allowed to recognize that it's something you don't prefer. That's all.
So I could actually get for good rid of this sense of insecurity, feeling alienated, feeling unworthy. I could actually get rid of it forever.
You could let it go, yes, because you have to realize you don't need it to grow unless you believe you do. You can learn lessons in all sorts of other ways without punishing yourself to do so. You don't deserve that unless you believe you do.
Could you give me maybe specifically for me an exercise or something that I could experience that unconditional love through direct experience?
You have attracted yourself to this conversation with us that is assuring you that you deserve unconditional love. What other signs do you need?
Oh, thank you. That is true.
So, will that help you?
That will help me.
Give yourself the unconditional love that is there for you because that is what existence is. That is the frequency of existence itself. So if you exist, you are supported by unconditional love. It can't be otherwise. You have the proof of this by the fact that it actually supports you unconditionally, meaning that if you believe in something negative, you are supported in that. If you believe in something positive, there's no difference to the universe, no difference to existence. You are supported in that.
Yes.
Being supported, even in the negative things, should prove to you that its support is unconditional. It's not judging you. It's saying, all right, you want to believe in this negative thing? You want to have this negative experience? Go right ahead. I support you. That's what unconditional means. Doesn't mean it judges you for doing it. It means it lets you have the experience. It supports you in the experience you have decided is necessary for yourself. How much more unconditional could existence be than being so invisible it doesn't even intervene in your ability to punish yourself? Because
Yeah.
it knows you are actually an eternal spirit. It knows that you can't really die or cease to exist. Therefore, you want to do these things to yourself? It'll let you because it actually loves you that much to let you be the one to decide what is real for you and true for you. It doesn't intervene. There's no such thing as God's will, except for the idea that its will is your will, because you are a unique representation, a unique facet, a unique extension of all that is, of Source. You are allowed your uniqueness, utterly, unconditionally. Therefore, what more proof do you need than that?
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't need more proof than that.
But if you do, that's up to you. You're the one setting the rules. You can disband them. And again, that will be supported too.
Yes, I guess I need to trust that that will be supported too because it's a new decision.
Why not? Because what you're doing right now is trusting that it won't be supported. You understand that doesn't mean you lack trust. It means you're using your trust to say, I won't be supported. So why not use the same trust to say, I will be supported in what I prefer, as opposed to what I don't? Because it's never about not trusting. You're always trusting something to be true. You get to decide what that is.
Okay, yes.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Completely. The power is in your hands. The power is in your heart. The power is in your spirit.